The goal is to bring you your next favorite band.
Sweet, that intro is my new favorite band. That's phenomenal. I'm so excited to be on.
Yeah. I heard a rumor that you might be able to play that song live today.
You heard correctly. Yes.
Excellent. So,
good enough for Robert.
I don't know when I rock out here on your next favorite band and show.
and listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band.
Phil, you weren't supposed to make me get all... God almighty,
But this
Phil.
is why we do it.
Like, seriously. I gotta gather myself. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot, up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years but have flown under the radar. Tonight, we have the No Planet B pre-jam sharing all of the details you need for this weekend's in-person event. Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless and you never know who will be
Your next favorite band.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Philip Reese, joined tonight by...
Amy Kohler from The Running Kind. That was my cue. I almost messed it up.
And you are listening to your next favorite band. Tonight we have several bands to share, but lots of other fun details about the third annual No Planet B Jamboree. And I am so humbled that we are up to year 3 on this. It's so... The first year was thrilling enough, but now to be in year 3 is super exciting and all new things to share about what's happening this year. But first, thank you to Amy for joining. Off the top here, I wanted to have a person to kind of steward through each section of the night, and so you're helping me with the opening here, where we talk about all the details because we've got a super cool addition this year of your organization putting on a fun run. And so we will definitely get to that in a little bit. But the exciting part here is that we have a killer lineup of 3 bands. We have 3, actually more. We have probably more like 5 or 6 organizations that will be there with tables, and we have the Running Kind who are putting on a fun run, which is going to be super cool. But yeah, so we thought off the top here, we'll kind of just get into the details. How does that sound, Amy?
Yeah, I'm really stoked for this weekend, so I think that's a good place to start.
Absolutely. So what I'll do is I'll start to share. This is the Next Fave Band No Planet B Jamboree landing page. So if you came to our site, nextfaveband.com, you could go to the specials up here and be able to pull it up. These are the other events we do live and in person throughout the year. And so here is the Jamboree page. Off the top, have to give kudos. Graphic design this year, we always try and reach out to a local artist for them to design the poster, if you will. And Honeydew is the Instagram handle. Gianna Selecchia was the designer this year. And little insider tip, it's my daughter. And she, and she goes to Pratt Institute. She'll actually be graduating next month. And so she is a 3D animator, soon to be. And she also obviously does some graphic design on the side. So designed by Gianna. So there you go. Pretty cool little Next Fave Band, Jamboree band going on there. And representing, these all were animals who are close to endangerment throughout the world. So that was part of the design as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a really fun design.
Yeah, I thought it was very, very cool. We had a lot of fun. And then probably the most important thing, let's share the date and time. So it's this Saturday, April 19th. It is a free event. So no need to worry about tickets or anything. Just show up and enjoy. It's an outdoor festival. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. Right now, we know that the weather will be warm, which is great. There is the first digit right now is a 7, which is lovely.
Wow.
Yeah, there's an outside shot at some rain, but it doesn't look like it would be like steady, detrimental rain. Actually, I'm looking at this right now. Hang on, let me stop sharing for a second and show you this. This is Bethlehem for Saturday. That right there says 77 and no
nice.
rain.
Ideal.
Yeah, that's great for springtime startup of outdoor, music venue weather. That's fantastic. So everyone, cross your fingers and toes to make that continue. Saturday, April 19th, 1 p.m. Lovely weather. If we can have that hold around, and then this is so exciting. Last 2 years we have to take a moment to say a huge thank you to the Sun Inn. They had that beautiful courtyard on Main Street in downtown Bethlehem. It's a perfect spot for this type of event, except for the potential for weather. And when you're planning this months in advance, you don't know. In fact, we still obviously don't know. Springtime can be unpredictable, but there was no second space for it. If it happened to rain, which we got lucky, both years were pretty good. 1 year was gorgeous, and so if the weather is great, it's awesome. But if it happens to rain or be cold or windy, it makes for a spot where people don't want to sit around and listen to some music. So the beauty of Arts Quest, who is so awesomely taking this on as like a co-promoted event, is they have the outdoor stage on the town square. And then right across the glass in the building is their palette and pour stage. And they said, either stage is the one we'll use for this event. We'll put it outside, which is the goal. But if it happens to be where the weather is a problem, we'll move it inside. And so date, time, and location is basically protected. So, and then obviously you get the power of saying, this is now a Next Fave Band / Arts Quest event, which is super cool. So super pumped about that, and everyone can feel comfortable about, you don't have to pencil it in. You can use a Sharpie, a permanent marker, whatever you want. Saturday, April 19th, 1 p.m. Bethlehem, the South Side Steel Stacks building is where it's going to be at. So scrolling down, here are the artists. We're going to get into each one of these, so we won't spend a ton of time on this right now. Shane Gorett is a phenomenal blues player. He's going to close things out. He's from upstate New York near Albany. Roberta Faceplant is the Honky Tonk Hurricane out of Philadelphia. And Drew in the Blue is Garage Kept Rock and Roll from Reading. They're going to kick things off at the start. Here's some just details about the event. We had some wonderful promotion stuff that happened recently, which is great too. You can see here, we were on WFMZ, the television. Katie Feeney, who's the lead singer of Roberta Faceplant, she joined me that day, and we talked about, the theme of the day and all the details, and then also she performed. She actually had worked for Clean Air Council and a few other organizations. So it's very cool when you can get a musician who's also passionate about the topic of environmentalism. It's very, very awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so you can check out this interview. And then also there's other videos too for the performances that she did. She sounded awesome that morning. And then on WDIY, the local radio station, Drew in the Blue joined me for that one. So it's pretty cool. We were able to do some nice promotions, and you can go check out those interviews with those links. And then here's the schedule. So it starts at 1. Then 1:30 is when Drew in the Blue goes on. 2:30 Roberta Faceplant. 3:30 Shane Gorett. So we'll probably be wrapping around 4:30. So maybe you can't dedicate that full time to enjoying all of the music. We hope you can. But if you can only come for a piece of it, there you go. You're going to be able to enjoy the different music at the different times. We're going to come back to this in a second because I just want to touch on huge thank you to WDIY. They're our media sponsor for the event. And then these are the other tabling organizations. Pause Tree of Life, which is Delwyn Elk Bear Fiddlers organization. It's a very, very cool organization sharing awareness about Native Americans and their stewardship of the earth and all that good stuff. The Running Kind, which Amy is the founder, right?
Yep.
And obviously setting up a lot of great things for this fun run. FEAT, FEAT is a wonderful organization where you can apply to get an e-bike, and so that you can have really renewable transportation to whether you need it for work or appointments or what have you. the Bethlehem Co-op Market. Green Pond Packaging, Lisa's going to be on later on today, so we don't have to necessarily do this here, but they provide uh, basically compostable and biodegradable packaging for restaurants and more. But basically, instead of using styrofoam and other type of stuff that a lot of restaurants use, they have a lot of great stuff that can not be as harmful to the environment. And then Lehigh Valley Girls Rock, a wonderful organization that I always like to include where we can. So these are all the tabling organizations. If you come to the event, you'll also be able to spend time learning what they all provide to make us more renewable and sustainable. And so let's come back up to this. Amy, tell us all about the Running Kind, and then for this particular event.
Yeah, I'm super stoked to get to be a part of No Planet B Jamboree. I am so I guess in 2022 I started the Running Kind. We are a zero carbon running organization, and we host
Here's your site, by the way. Yeah.
mostly trail races. A few trail races that are local to the Lehigh Valley area, and then some in New Jersey and New York. And we also do trail cleanups. We do a lot of group runs, just a lot of different fun events. And the focus for all of them is carbon neutrality. So This aligns perfect with what we're trying to do.
And yeah, no, I mean, we were able to make a connection last year. And we were kind of joking a little bit about like when somebody comes out of nowhere, it's kind of like, not sure where this is coming from, but it sounds interesting. And you came down to the event last year because we also got in touch a little bit later in the game.
Yeah.
And so we're able to kind of come down as a couple other members of the organization came down, checked it out. And here's the crew.
The crew. Yeah, it's mostly my family. We are a pretty much volunteer run organization. So we don't really, we're not like a paid staff or anything at this point in time.
Sure. Right.
We're really just doing it for
the greater good.
Yeah, for fun and to bring really to bring awareness to sustainable sport. So
Sure.
Yeah.
And then before we get into the actual run, I wanted to check, can anyone join the organization? Like, can they become a member of the Running Kind?
Yeah, so we don't actually have like a membership or anything. So all of our group runs and trail work cleanups are free. Anyone can join those at any time. We do have a Facebook group that's just called The Running Kind, or you can follow us on Instagram at @TheRunningKind_. And being a part of those communities is totally free, and we would love to have you join us.
Yeah.
And then the trail races are usually fee-based, and that's dependent on how long of a distance the race usually is.
Right. Yeah. And so tell us about, so I clicked on that button on the our page, but you could come straight to this. It's a Facebook event page that's dedicated to the fun run for Saturday morning.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And you can find myself and the Running Kind right through that as well.
Right. Yeah.
But
and you had said this was going to be where there'll be different kind of, if someone's inclined to do it, but maybe they're not a dedicated runner, you're going to have people who will pace that out so that it's not stressful or anything like that.
Yeah, I have two friends that are going, one who's one of our ambassadors, and then our like videographer, photographer, that has been kind of a helpful hand for us. And so they're both going out, and we'll have, I think he has a 3-mile or 5-mile route plan dependent on who shows up, and a few different options. So that we can make sure the group stays together. And
it's finishing near the stage where we're going to be hosting the music.
Yep. We'll start and finish right by where No Planet B Jamboree is taking place.
That's so cool. I mean, thank you so much for kind of being a big part of this. Like, it's so like, really rewarding to see it kind of inspiring this kind of energy. And I'm hoping more people sign up for this. It'll be I would have loved to have done it, but I'm going to have to be worrying about, setting up bands and making sure things are in order. But I really hope other people take you up on it.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely like, if you're listening to this and you're a runner that has attended other like group runs, it's that kind of setting. If you have never attended something like this, bring your running shoes and a fun time, and we will do the rest.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, Amy, thank you so much for being a part of our opening here, for setting up this fun run, for being a part of the No Planet B Jamboree. And I'm hoping this becomes just a steady offering to kick things off every year.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us. And we're super excited to partner with you guys again. So
Awesome.
I'm excited for the event.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, I will see you around. What we're going to do here is bring on some music so that we can transition to the next guest and also give people a flavor for the music. And so if you haven't heard Shane Guaret before, like I had said, he's a tremendous blues guitarist, but also his voice just sounds like something out of, like I always say to people, if you had told me this was music from like the late 50s, early 60s, and I just never found it before, I would believe you. Like, that's just how, like, just really raw and awesome it sounds. So anyway, this is one of his, breakout songs from a couple years back, and he's got brand new music out too. But here's Lost Without by Shane Guaret.
Lost without. Turn the pieces that the seems before my eyes. Change not a thing the more I try. And I need your love so bad. Tell me, baby, to get back. I need your love so bad. I'm lost without.
So there you have Lost Without by Shane Guaret. And welcome to the show, Paige Roth.
Thank you so much. Hi, Philip.
Hello there. I noticed actually when that first came up there, we have the same exact initials. It said PR and it threw me off because if I turn off my camera, it's going to say the same thing. I'm like, oh no, something's broken.
Right. I've never
it
thought
wasn't
about that. And that happens to me in meetings all of the time.
Right. Absolutely. So Paige Roth from reverb.org. And I think you're the first person to be on the show 3 times.
Wow. All right.
that?
A record.
And obviously super dedicated because all 3 of the times were dedicated to the live stream pre-jam of the No Planet B Jamboree.
I know. So cool. We got to keep it going.
That's right.
I'm thrilled that the Jamboree's still going. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, no, isn't that fun? I mean, like, it's just so cool that it's finding a path and generating, more interest every year. And you wouldn't know this, but Lehigh Valley is famous for its fest. Like we have Music Fest, obviously, but we also have Garlic Fest, Bacon Fest. There's something called Mayfair. We have Peeps Fest because peeps are actually made here in the Lehigh Valley. We have all these different things, but nothing was dedicated to Earth Day or the environment or anything like that. So, be the change you want to see in the world. I made my own Earth Day festival and just called it the No Planet B Jamboree. But here we are, and hopefully it's again for year 3 of many. And as you know, too, I keep asking you if Reverb can attend the event. So one of these years, that's my other goal, is to have you guys be here in person.
I know. One of these days.
Absolutely.
One of these days. Yeah. Festivals, music, the environment, that's what we're all about. So
100%. Absolutely.
I'd love to see it happening.
Yeah. So before we pivot to Reverb, what'd you think of Shane Gorett? Do you know his music?
I don't think that I'd ever heard of him before, but I love that. I love that like anachronistic sound.
Yep.
It's very right up my alley.
Yeah.
Blues, bass, rock and roll. So cool.
Yeah, so that's definitely a rabbit hole you're going to want to go down because he's got hit after hit. I mean, I'm surprised that he's not more known and popular, but I think it's brewing. He's still so young that it's unbelievable what he sounds like and is pulling off, and super cool guy. Like the other part about all 3 of these musicians is they've been on the show before, so there are interviews with each one of them to check out as well. So if you like any of the music that you're hearing tonight, then come to nextfaveband.com and you can search and find the interview we did with them so you can hear more music and their backstory, which is we love doing that. But that was Shane Gorett. We've got more music coming up, but now we're going to spend some time learning more about reverb.org. If you've tuned in years past, you already know some of what they're up to, but we always like to kind of kick it off. And I found on your YouTube channel this year, you had this very cool reverb story. So we're going to tap into this for a few seconds, and then we'll come back and talk with Paige about it. But here, enjoy where this all came from, reverb.org story.
Music is the universal language we've always understood. It has the power to bring us together like nothing else. Whether in front of 20 people or 20,000, it transforms us. And when the show is over, we leave with memories of a lifetime. But there can also be a lot left behind, like trash, water bottles, and single-use plastics, from the fans in the front to performers and crew backstage. Pollution, from the gas for the generators to power the lights, the amps, and the sound. There's also the tour buses and all of the vehicles used by the fans to get to the show. Now, multiply that by every concert across the globe. If not done right, there can be a lot of waste. And wasted opportunity. So, what is a solution? Let's start at the beginning. When Lauren, a girl who loved nature, met Adam, a boy who loved music. Together, they wanted to start making changes. So they asked the question, how can we transform concerts into events that sustain us and our planet? Their answer was Reverb. And for 20 years, Reverb has worked to use the power of music to bring us together to solve this problem.
Just a few of the acts working with a green tour company called Reverb.
So it should be industry standard, I think, to work with Reverb.
Grammy Award winner Brittany Howard. She hopes working with Reverb will help increase the level of concern about climate change.
I think a lot of people don't take it seriously enough.
We're trying to be as green as possible on the entire tour. So there's we're actually bringing someone from Reverb.
You know that most of this show is being powered by solar right now. That's pretty fucking cool.
Reverb is working to power shows better. To take simple steps to waste less. To support better food systems and the people building them. And to connect thousands of non-profit campaigns with engaged audiences around the world, fighting the climate crisis and supporting communities facing its worst impacts. Every concert brings people together in a meaningful way, showing us how connected we really are. So let's use concerts as opportunities to inspire action. Because every action we take does make a difference, even if it's a small one. And together, millions of actions create meaningful change, beyond just the music industry, to people all over the planet. And if enough people act, we really can change the world.
So, like, oh, hang on. Too many buttons. What I really find amazing is I found the video, I'm playing it, and it does such a beautiful job of piecing all that together. But you get to that end and you feel inspired and you feel emotional about it. And I really think what you're doing is such amazing work, and it's not easy, but it's not impossible.
It's not. I was having the same feeling every time I see that video. It really, it hits me in the feels, and I do it every day.
Really
Every day.
does. It's
Beautiful.
extremely well done.
I'm so glad you showed it.
Yeah.
That was made because last summer was our 20th summer. So Reverb was founded in 2004. So we had that video made, and it really goes to show how much things have changed in the last 20 years and how many musicians are getting more and more involved with making sustainability part of their tour. And it's beautiful to see. I love all the photos of the different action villages all piled up. So cool.
Yeah. It is very, very cool. And it's just a matter of making that decision that it's important. Like if you are a festival, if you are a venue, if you are a touring band, you just have to be intentional about your decisions. It doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where I'm always just like, if somebody's like, yeah, but that's going to make it hard. Okay. You're not entitled to easy. You're not entitled to water in a one-time use plastic or whatever. Like, there's tons of reasons why, you have to just make that choice. Is taking care of the planet important to you or not? And if it is, then you follow that path. And if it's not, you got to ask yourself why and what that means. So like, I think that this is the kind of thing where it's like to put it out there and show those shots after the concert of how much garbage there is just on the ground. A lot of times you don't see it or think about it because you saw this great show, you left on adrenaline high, and you went to your car and drove home. You didn't look around and see what that looked like afterwards.
Exactly. It's just become acceptable. That is just how people accept that the end of a concert or the end of a festival will look. And so I think it's about both the artists and the fans deciding that this isn't how we want concerts to look when we're done with them.
Right.
So, what can we do about that, and how can we implement change to, as you said, make it easier? If that's part of how we go to concerts and go to festivals, then the systems will change around us.
Totally. And I think too, it's like the end sentence there where it says if we all do it, then it gets a little bit easier, it gets a little more possible. It's when we're not all in on it or not all thinking it's important, that's where it becomes, or if we all just say, oh, it's hard, let's not. But if we all were in on it, I think it could be, more magical that way. So, and I always like to point it out. So on the back wall here are all our Music Fest pictures. And our festival should be very proud of the fact that even though it's 41 years in, it has saved tons and tons of garbage by having, since its first year, a reusable mug.
Exactly. If you plan from the start and that's what people come to expect, that's how it will go. We think of it as the same concept as seatbelts. Like, you didn't have to wear a seatbelt in the car until the 70s, 80s.
Sure.
And then
Yes.
that changed. And now that's what we always do.
Yes. No, that's
Bringing a
very
reusable bag to the store, just thinking of it like your wallet,
true.
it make it part of your daily life, and systemically and culturally, the change will follow. And it
Absolutely.
isn't that hard.
Yes, yeah, for sure. So let me bring up the Reverb website so that we can promote a few things off of that. Because I always want people to know, like, okay, it's nice for us to be able to talk about this, but it's also how do you make the difference? So obviously you're helping bands do this. That's probably going to be national tours and bigger deals and so on. But there are ways that people can volunteer or just who want to make a difference with helping you what you're doing by making a monetary donation. So let's talk about all these different elements.
Absolutely. So that's a big part of the work that I do. My role at Reverb is the director of volunteer and community programs. So my role in all of Reverb's work involves forming partnerships and bringing out nonprofits to come and table with us at concerts across the country, and then also directing our volunteer program, which is thousands of people really all across the world now. Reverb is a small organization. There are 13 of us full-time. We're headquartered in Portland, Maine, although we have some folks spread across the country. And the way that we're able to bring these activism programs to concerts is by having fans come out and volunteer with us. So if you visit our volunteer page on our website, you'll see the applications for the different opportunities that we have. Right now, we're out on the road with Tyler Childers, My Morning Jacket, Phineas, who is in the UK right now, then moves on to Europe. Billie Eilish is about to do her European and UK legs. So if you're listening from, across the pond, we have opportunities there.
And for those people who were maybe on the podcast listening and not seeing it, Billie Eilish was one of the big quotes in that video that we listened to. So she's been a part of this for a number of her tours.
Yeah, she started partnering with Reverb at the end of 2019, which was her first, major tour. And then when the pandemic hit, things got put on hold, but she's been a great partner to us ever since. So different genres, different age ranges, different sized venues, there's a little something for everybody. And because it's spring, more will come online this summer.
Absolutely. Right. And I always like to point this out. So like Lauren and Adam, the founders, Adam is in the band Guster, right?
He is.
Yeah.
He's the guitarist and vocalist sometimes.
Yeah. And so it's always important to come, like this is stemming from people who are doing it themselves. It's not somebody outside who thought this was a good idea and trying to force it on people. That some people dream that kind of garbage up, if you will. But it's like, that's the type of stuff that I always want to point out is like, this is somebody who was doing it themselves at a very successful touring band and opted to do that themselves. And then is now trying to also now be the advocate and the resource for other bands to do it or other festivals or what have you.
It's true. I think that Adam and Guster, really forged a path by proving that, working with Reverb and bringing sustainability into a music tour was possible. So leading by example, and that's a big part of what Reverb can offer to music tours and festivals. Everyone who's on our staff, really understands the logistics, and which can be important when incorporating into a moving tour that's going all around the world.
Yeah, this is so cool. It's definitely worth. Like there's obviously way too much to cover in the little bit of time we have here today. That people just need to go to reverb.org and just check it out and learn more about all the different things that you offer. Do you get into and I didn't see it there, so I'm just asking the question. I have heard that pressing vinyl can be a pretty harmful for the planet. Is there a way to encourage people to do that more, Green?
Yeah, we've been getting into that, I think, really since after 2020, just sort of weighing in and looking at the technology that has changed because, vinyl's made out of a very toxic material. I think we all know that if it melts, it releases poisonous, fumes or gases. It's made out of plastic, essentially. But artists like Billie Eilish, a number of other artists are starting to press vinyl made by recycled plastic, so from other vinyl items, and then you get that kind of cool marbled look to the album with the different colors. So as sustainability becomes more and more important, both in the live music space and streaming and the physical materials like vinyl, the technology is changing too.
Yeah, I read I was reading an article, one of the preps for tonight. Later on, I'm going to be sharing a couple different articles about just things that are happening on this theme, more positive and hopefully not political. That's one of the things I'm going to get into. But the article at some point said, it was quoting somebody that said, it's mostly been innovation and technology that got us into this mess. So now we need to rely on innovation and technology to get us out of it.
So incredibly true. The things
Yeah.
that have happened in the last 100 years
Mhm,
have
right.
accelerated at such a rapid pace. So let's see if we can,
Yeah,
not
just pivot it to these
necessarily.
other
Yeah,
great ideas. Like, there's
exactly.
definitely ways to get it done. So, what I was going to touch on though is, again, I feel like I've made it, and I think you'll appreciate this. So I wanted to make sure I brought this on. And I'm not. This isn't a brag. You'll see where I'm going with this in a second. Is, as you heard, I was on the television this past weekend to promote the event. All I'm doing is promoting an event that's free to provide great music for people, and we just decided to wrap it in the skin of being more sustainable and renewable and a steward of the earth, because I'm passionate about that. So I just figured, hey, if I'm going to have this event that we put on that has you come out and check out great music for free, maybe also, be better to the planet at the same time. And so we go on here, and so like I'm going to go search. And so we have no planet B, and it comes up with the WFMZ post about us. And so if you click on here on these 5 comments, one says 100% fake.
I'm a little scared. Yeah.
Yeah. One says they spew as they sit on a plastic covered couch with blaring set lights using tons of electricity produced by natural gas and nuclear. Planet B, LMAO, as if I designed the television station. Then someone comments underneath that, and they drove their fuel-driven car, whether it be gas or electric, with the rubber-soled shoes. Lol. This is my personal favorite. What a bunch of woke tards.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Yeah. And then this is newsworthy WFMZ. So I guess I just wanted to show this as like, don't be this guy. Like, this is, it's just.
It just doesn't really make any sense to me,
No.
regardless of your political
Right.
affiliation.
There's nothing about this that is anything to do with anything other than just good music and things that make things clean water, clean air, and less trash, like all things that I think every human on the planet should be for.
Agree. And I
don't
think
make it about anything that it's not. I mean, just, you know what though? I almost wanted to like come down. If you're one of those people, come down, listen to the music, and have a good time. I hope that we have a beautiful day for this, and I hope people just get a lot less divisive. Like, to me, this is just silly. So anyway, I initially was like shocked, and then I was just like, oh, that means I'm actually getting somewhere. Like, I felt good about it actually.
It's really true. As soon as you have people who are fighting against you, I think that you're taking a stand in the right direction. And I also think that people who spend their time spreading negativity online are not the people who are out there doing things like creating events like you are.
Right, and I just
time to talk, but
I knew I could bring it up because I'm sure Reverb and all its employees have heard its fair share of this garbage. Again, I keep using that word. It's like like that whole, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. But maybe read one of these articles. Maybe have, again, just a moment of deciding, should we be ignorant of trash or trying to make it better? Like, to me, these shouldn't be big topics. But anyway, that is the reality, and I applaud you for doing. See, I just do this one day a year, and this happens. You're doing it all year round, and it's certainly worthy of applause. And kudos to the whole team, because it just seems like you're building such great momentum with it all. And if you look at those statistics right on the homepage, it's amazing what you all are doing. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for being a part of our show 3 years since its inception. Thank you for believing in us, for even taking the interview the first year. That was amazing.
Absolutely wouldn't miss it. I mean, this is really what it's all about for me, is supporting anything that's grassroots and people making positive change. And I think that's true for all of us. So anywhere from Billie Eilish and Dead & Company to artists who are just starting out, like, let's go.
Absolutely.
Always here for it.
Absolutely. Well, Paige, thank you so much. I do hope we almost ran into each other at one concert. We were in the same space, yes, and you had posted you were going, and I was supposed to go, but then the tickets fell through. But anyway,
I think it was my morning jacket.
I think it was my morning jacket.
Yes,
yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, Northeast, we're not that far, so
that's exactly right.
One of these days, it'll happen.
It'll definitely happen, and then hopefully, again, we get Reverb at one of these Jamboree events one year. But thank you again so much. It has meant so much, and can't wait for next year already, where we can catch up again.
Yeah, best of luck. And I'm rooting for no rain here in Maine. We know how it goes weather-wise, but
Yes, it
there's
can
no
say
bad
one thing and do
weather.
another.
There's
Yeah.
just the wrong clothes. That's what we always say. So
All right. Well, Paige, thank you so much. We're going to play one more song, and we have another guest that's coming on in a second. But here, enjoy some Roberta Faceplant. She was the one that joined me on the WFMZ this past weekend. What you heard there was an acoustic version. This is full band and live, kind of like the Shane Gorett version. Here's their song.
Let's have some fun tonight. Painted you a picture of a Philadelphia skyline, and I knew it was a bad day, so I poured you a glass of wine. Well, sit on down and tell me what it's like to be out there while you're at it, Lucille. Could you fix my hair? Is it real, Lucille? Is it real? I can depend on the friends I have right here. Be real, Lucille, 'cause it's a steal. All I spend in the end time on the friends I have. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I can't have the blues without friends like you. I can't have the blues if the blues are different. You, well, sit on down and tell me what it's like to be up till 5 a.m. Wake up and have to do it all again. Is it real? Is it real? I can depend on the friends I have right here. Be real, Lucille, 'cause it's a steal. All I spend in the end time on the friends I have. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So there you have Lucille, Roberta Faceplant. They'll be on second this coming weekend. And joining us now, Lisa Pammer from Green Pond Packaging.
Yes. Hello, Philip. How are you today?
Doing great. What'd you think of Roberta Faceplant?
Oh, I love the music, and I did see your WFMZ interview on Saturday morning. I happened to be watching the news, and there it was. So saw her there performing as well. Great
Yes,
show.
and isn't that so different too? The difference between the acoustic and the full band version.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
So we have the full band joining us this weekend. So we're getting the full Faceplant Nation for the enjoyment.
Can't wait to see it live.
Of all. Yes, absolutely. And you are one of the tabling organizations, so you will be there. You'll be enjoying all of this music. And then also people can meet you and learn more about Green Pond Packaging. So let's first tell us about yourself. How did you get into this venture? Because you're the, founder and CEO, right?
I am. I started
Congratulations on that.
I started this about 2.5 years ago. But prior to that, I was in corporate finance, worked for several different Fortune 500 companies throughout my career, but knew I needed a change. So I took a break from that. And it was over the summer months. I was at my local ice cream parlor and enjoying my favorite ice cream. And I just noticed all of these styrofoam containers getting tossed in the garbage. So there's so many styrofoam containers still being used today.
Oh, totally.
And they're a great vessel for ice cream because they can keep the product cold enough. So, but it just made me wonder, if there were alternatives that could be used. And so I went back, did some homework and did a little bit of research and found some alternatives, and kind of led me down the path of starting this type of business.
That's so great. Well, let me bring up your site so that I'm sure there's things on there you'll want me to point to. So here is the greenpondpackaging.com website.
Sure. Yeah. And if you want to, so,
Tell me where to go.
our mission is really about reducing the negative environmental impact of disposable packaging. We offer plant-based compostable alternatives that are just better for the environment. They're made from regenerative resources like bamboo fiber or sugar cane. They contain no PFAS, no toxic chemicals, and are typically, let's say, some of them are home compostable, but many are you'll need an industrial compost facility to break those down properly.
That's so
But
cool.
yeah, so I
even,
have
like, I can see here-
tableware. I'm sorry, Phil, go ahead.
I was just going to say there's choices. So on these to-go containers, there's fiber, clear, and paper.
Yes.
Is that so organizations could try them out and pick which one they like the best?
Yes. So the innovation has advanced in such a way that there are different products that are best used in different ways. So you can see the fiber takeout containers are really like your clamshells, great for leftovers or salads or takeout foods. Then we have also the paper containers that you see there. Even though it's labeled paper, it is really a bamboo-based paper. It is not a tree-based paper. And then we have the clear products, which are made out of a PLA, which is it's a bioplastic based on a corn resin. So they take the byproduct of the corn, they make that into a bioplastic and form the products that way.
This is so cool. So the majority of your clients are restaurant businesses, right? Like restaurants and caterers and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. Our customers include restaurants, caterers, food trucks, ice cream parlors, coffee shops, distilleries and wineries. So really, event centers are using some of the products. So we sell both wholesale and retail. So I have a lot of products on here at a smaller quantity count, so that if you're interested in purchasing something for your home or your business, that is available in a smaller quantity, so you don't need to buy the whole box.
That's so cool. But yeah, I would always wonder, like, we were talking with Paige about flipping the narrative or changing like the perspective on something.
Yes.
Same thing here. Like, I think a lot of times the question is like, well, why should I do it? It's more like you should be asking yourself why you shouldn't do it. Like, why not?
Yes.
Like, why should you stick with stuff that is a forever chemical or something that's going to take a bazillion years to degrade when you could make this choice and it's in the same ballpark and it's just as effective? Because that's the other part too. People are like, "Oh, well, the paper straws, they quit on me." So what? You're not you're not entitled to a universally perpetual straw.
And Philip, actually, I have a better alternative. It's a material called PHA, and if you look at my straw section, you will find a straw that is made out of vegetable oil. And it looks and feels like traditional plastic. Right there you go. Looks and feels like traditional plastic.
There you go. So now I don't want to hear it anymore from the straw.
No, there are
straw men.
options. Yeah, there are definitely options. And I know there are other options besides paper. There's avocado straws and a whole lot of other different types of straws as well that I don't necessarily carry.
Outstanding. And so how else can we help promote this? Obviously, you're coming down to the event. People can learn about it there. Where else can we maybe kind of point people to kind of like where in your vision of this, where can this be tomorrow, if you will?
Yeah. So what I'm seeing growth in what I have as far as recurring customers.
Sure.
I see them using more and more product and adding once they have used product from me. I have goals to branch out while I'm solely in not solely, but I do, my web presence is national, but I really would like to distribute beyond Pennsylvania and into New Jersey and Delaware and New York.
Sure.
So, so getting the word out that there is a local East Coast distributor of some of these products, offering easy ordering and fast shipping and reliable service. So
there you go.
Right here at Base
what
in
more could people
Bethlehem.
be asking for? It would be nice. I mean, like we talked about, for let's just take Music Fest for example. So they've got the they've got the reusable mug.
Right.
So they're reducing waste with beverage consumption.
Right.
But as we were talking, it was dawning on me, I'm like, yeah, but you've got all those food trucks and food vendors that may or may not be using stuff that's okay. So that's who we got to work on next, is getting all those vendors on board with, not just for a festival, also for just any time they're serving. But to me, those festivals, when you look at those pictures of a post-festival, it can be a disaster field. And it would just be better if we could stewardship some of stuff like this.
Agreed. And, one objection is that I hear often is that, well, we don't have composting in the area, right? But regardless of that, there are still upstream benefits to using these products because they are made from regenerative resources. They're not cutting down our trees. They don't contain the harmful chemicals.
Well, I guess that's a good question. So, like, if a place was using this and not composting it, if that's in a trash, that's still better than the styrofoam that's in the trash. Like,
it is still better. Yes, it will break down.
It'll break down on its own way better than any of the microplastics or whatever.
Correct, and it won't break down into the microplastics. That's correct. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So I think that that's the other important part is like. It always is funny to me when people are coming up with some of these objections and they're like, but that's not a reason not to do it. Like, let's think about the positive side of how can we make this happen rather than why we should. Like, to me, again, it's just that's the pivot. That's what we got to do. Lisa, thank you so much for joining tonight. Thank you so much for all you're doing. I mean, like, you gave up that whole other career path to start this because you're passionate about it and you saw, a need and an opportunity. So that's to be applauded, and I admire what you're doing. I can't wait to have you down at the event on Saturday, and hopefully we find you a ton more, people who are going to vendor with you for that and be able to do better by the waste that's being inevitably created. So we got to do it better.
Well, thank you so much. And thanks for inviting me. I enjoyed the discussion, Philip, and see you on Saturday.
Yeah, can't wait. So so we got another song here we're going to bring in. Do you know Drew and the Blue at all? Do you know them?
I am not familiar with Drew and the Blue.
Got it. Well, I think you're going to love this one as well. Okay. This one is called Love You to Death is the song. The cool part about the very opening is it's his genuine, actual proposal to his wife. Like, this is the moment they became fiancés, because they were filming this scene of a wedding scene, and he just decided to do it because he had been wanting to pop the question around this time frame. This came up in the interview we did with him, that this is the genuine reaction of hers is the opening of this video. The garage kept rock and roll of Reading, Pennsylvania, Drew and the Blue. Here's their song, Love You to Death. So there is Drew and the Blue. I love you to death. Killer track. And they will be kicking things off this Saturday. So there you heard from all three bands. There was Drew and the Blue. Before that, we had Roberta Faceplant. And at the top of this show, but will be the closer on Saturday, is Shane Gorette. So there you have just... Love the way that music is going to kind of come together and take us on a journey. That's obviously somewhat intentional, but you also got to get lucky with the music gods and calendars and all that kind of stuff. So that is very much the lineup I had in my head that I wanted to be able to put on the No Planet B Jamboree stage. And here we are, a couple days away from enjoying that. And if you're listening to this on demand, it might be ready to happen. It could also be past. But we really going to enjoy our time on Saturday, and can't wait to share all that with you. I have a couple other tracks I'm going to be sharing here today that have some fun stories, and they have a environmental theme to them. They both mention sun in the title, so we will get to that in a second. But I wanted to kind of start off with the music of each of the performers of the event on Saturday. Right now, what I wanted to get into was some news articles that I've come across over the last year that kind of get into the environmental theme. And these are, again, the attempt here is to be non-political. The attempt here is to simply be factual. And the attempt is also to be a little bit more positive. And so the first one I wanted to share actually stems back to the very first No Planet B Jamboree that we ever did. We shared that Vanuatu, the island country, was granted the ability to basically bring a lawsuit against the carbon-producing countries to say that they're now in trouble because of the negligence of these other consuming countries. And so now that actually came to be. So here is an article that gets at when they were at the World Court. It's the International Justice Court. And so they are seeking legal response to climate change. The advisory opinion could influence global climate lawsuits, and the opinion, they were back in December of 2024. There were 2 weeks of hearings, and they're going to release their decision sometime in 2025. It did say in this article from December or January, early 2025, it's already mid-April, and nothing yet. I did double check that. But in essence, this court, while not legally binding, is kind of agreed as being, it's enough different countries involved and enough smart people involved that they feel like they rule on something and most of the world pays attention. Not so sure about this moment in time, but in general, the arc of justice bends, the arc of basically everything bends towards justice. So eventually we'll get there. But thought this was just super interesting. The entire country is saying, we've been put in this position not because of our own, and we're losing our homeland and people are getting sick and dying. So they're able to kind of put this out there and see how it kind of gets viewed from a legal precedent standpoint. So it'll be interesting to keep eyes on that as it goes forward. The next article I'm actually going to stop sharing for a second is this book that came out. It is called Not the End of the World: How We Can Be the First Generation to Build a Sustainable Planet. And it's by the author Hannah Ritchie. This is a review of that book because it is a decent read. I didn't read it, but I thought it would be important to kind of share. And I do want to get it now that I know more about it. So this is the Guardian's review of it. And really what the Guardian goes on to say is that it is mainly Hannah Ritchie is using data to kind of prove that there's some good trends out there and some things are heading in the right direction. But the predominant theme is that it's still going to take all of the massive effort that's currently ongoing to see it all the way through, and nothing to happen like wars or stuff like that. And so that's already been kind of hit hard because of what's going on in the Ukraine, in the Middle East and all that stuff. So those things are obviously massive contributors to the problem. But then even just other stuff needs to get changed and switched, and we need to do more to get there. But I guess what the book tries to point at is that what we are doing is starting to make a difference. So they're kind of saying, hey, keep it up, good job, good work. But we have other kind of political changes that are ongoing and things that are maybe starting to no longer be supported. So worth a read, they had said, but they did say at points it's kind of frustrating because it's somewhat ignoring the reality of certain elements that just are difficult for the human race to get on board with, that we've gotten this far is awesome, but obviously to push it more further, they almost went on to the fact of kind of saying we do need people who are thinking the positive thoughts like this author, but we also need some more pessimists who are painting the darker picture so to kind of keep people moving in the right direction. So definitely check out Not the End of the World, but then also check out the review by The Guardian. The next one I wanted to share is, this was just a neat one where it's 15 climate tech startups to watch. This is there was a number of these, but I found this one was just kind of interesting. And so what I thought was cool to see here is that there are these innovative tech startups that are trying to design climate-centric technologies, like we talked about with Paige. If we need innovation and technology to help us with this, then these are the people who are hopefully going to make it happen. I guess one of the drawbacks here is they need to prove to make money for them to get more funding. But if that's the game, then that's the game that needs to be played. So the encouraging part here is these are 15 organizations that you can learn about. And so I thought was the other part that was interesting, because it'll take us to the last article I want to share. The top one is a company called Carbon Capture. And it's this organization that's trying to capture through direct air capture, DAC technologies. Basically, it's trying to pull the CO2 out of the air and then sequester it underground. That's kind of what this last article is about. It's simply just asking, can that actually be effective? And so here is, can pulling carbon from thin air slow climate change? It's a really fascinating article, because what it kind of gets into is it's already a technology that's used on a very small scale. If you think about submarines or like spaceships or like the people who are orbiting the Earth, you need to deal with the CO2 that they're exhaling so that they have enough air. So they have ways to capture it and get it out of there so that they're breathing more oxygen. And so it's the type of thing that can happen, but obviously doing it on the gargantuan scale of the planet, it's some totally different ballgame. And so you can see here, these are some earlier kind of attempts at helping by saying a power plant can take its own CO2 and take care of it. But that doesn't deal with the people who are not already dealing with it themselves and all of the other elements. So here you have, this is that DAC type facility where it's sucking it in and dealing with it, whether it's from a power plant or vehicles or anything else. So those are some interesting things. And there was a really fascinating kind of diagram back here where it gets into the really elaborate way that it can work and be on an ongoing and constant basis with lime that turns into calcium oxide and then back around to lime again. So anyway, it's a really fascinating thing. And again, this is where scientists are amazing and brilliant, and engineers are committed to these kinds of solutions. So, that's who we need to kind of step up in this moment in time and create things that look like this and whatever the next generation of this is. But these are those DAC type machines and facilities that are helping with kind of reversing that trend. So anyway, some articles to look at and consider and maybe read. And again, having the open mind to learning more about this stuff and, finding other ways. There's ways to convert your energy power that gets supplied to your home very easily, to switch it to wind and solar, and so you just simply go on to the website and say, switch my energy providing to this one, and boom, it's done. One or two people doing it isn't going to make the difference, but like we talked about before, if everyone is on board with it, not only can it become an impact, but it can also maybe create innovation and reduce pricing and better efficiencies and all that good stuff. So just encourage us all to kind of learn. And that's why I love these organizations that are tabling. Like if you happen to own a restaurant and you come to this event on Saturday and you get to meet Lisa and learn all about her packaging and you make that difference and that change, think about that conversion, that one restaurant. Now take that to 10 restaurants or 100. And that starts to be where we can make some difference here. And even if you don't believe in the world impact, having trash that behaves better is just a good thing. You're going to not have to deal with it down the road because we might run out of space or all that other stuff. So there's nothing but good things to be happen from these different things. But we're going to link to all of those articles in the show notes, and you can have a look at them. And if you have some that you thought were interesting and you want to share them, definitely send them over. We'd love to keep tabs on this. Like I said, it was just kind of a really fascinating thing to watch that Vanuatu story kind of progress now over 2 years. And where will it go will be very interesting to watch. So next song we're going to bring up is Mississippi Sun. And it's by Mike Roy. Roy and the Secret People is the name of the band. And this song has a great story behind it. Basically, he just recorded it at his, and people loved it so much a record company put it out as a single. So it's coming out. And this is a live version, though. He was part of our first, about a year ago, we did Next Fave Band Presents. And it was just putting people on stage that we think are worthy of people's eyes and ears. And so Roy and the Secret People, we find their music to be awesome. And Shug Daniels was there that night. So it was Shug Daniels and Roy and the Secret People, and it was a great night. So this is a live performance of that song that evening. This is the trio. They also have a full band with drums and bass, but this is the trio, which is Mike, and Ed on guitar, and then Madeleine, who plays awesome electric violin. So enjoy Mississippi Sun by Roy and the Secret People.
It's a song called Mississippi Sun. Ooh, it's good to know there's a place where the sun is shining and the wind it calls home. Hey, where did you go? I just woke up, so I don't remember. Yeah, it's fading slow. Ooh, all she said to do is hang on. This way, I close my eyes, you see, I am light, I am shining through the rain and cold. So it's good to know your things from here all will get better. So take my hand and lead me home. Ooh, all she said to do is hang on. And so I keep hanging on this way. Can someone come and bring the Mississippi sun? Bring it to me. Are we happy? To me, who's gonna throw my bones when I'm all dead and gone? Throw for me. Well, are we happy? Yes, are we happy? Thank you.
So there's Mississippi Sun by Roy and the Secret People. Lovely, awesome tune. And thank you to them for not only performing it that night, but letting us use it this evening. Just to kind of fit the theme. And I wanted to share the story of just how he's finding some momentum, and it's great to see, and that's something we root for all of these bands to be able to get on our show. Like I had mentioned earlier, there are interviews out there with all of these musicians. We interviewed Mike Roy of Roy and the Secret People about a year ago, right before that event. Shane Guarette, Roberta Faceplant, and Drew in the Blue. We interviewed all of them last year as well. So those interviews are out there, links out there, as well as if you just check with us, we can kind of point you to it. We have one more song after the credits roll, that person, Nervous Nikki and the Chill Pills, which first of all is a great band name, but has phenomenal sound. They have not yet been on the show, but they are scheduled for June. So they have a song called Red Hot Sun. And so, like I said, when bands have environment themed songs, then they're free game for this evening and this time of year for the event, for the Jamboree. But yeah, Nervous Nikki and the Chill Pills will be on in June, and I can't wait to talk with them more. But for tonight, we're going to just share a track. But before we get to that, let's recap. We're going to share the webpage one more time. Here's the No Planet B Jamboree 2025 page. So once again, Saturday, April 19th, it's 1 p.m., It'll be in Bethlehem over at the Arts Quest campus, basically on that Highmark Blue Shield community stage that's part of that Air Products Town Square. That's the outside stage. And again, I just double-checked. We are still 1 hour past, and we are still showing 77 degrees and no rain on Saturday. Let's hope that holds. Obviously, anything is possible. There was kind of some showery impressions, but it always said like 15 to 20%. So that's obviously still a possibility. Bobby Martrich, you got to help me do some rain dance and get that stuff out of here because we want to have a beautiful day. But yeah, so once again, free, totally free for you to come down and enjoy the music, to come down and speak to the tabling organizations, to enjoy some food and some beer on a beautiful day, to listen to some music outside. Here is the beautiful music that's being played. Like we said, Shane Guarette, Roberta Faceplant, Drew in the Blue, phenomenal. Here's some interviews that we were able to do with the local news outlets, which is just amazing, their support. Thank you to Bo Coltnow and WFMZ. Thank you to Neil over at WDIY. And then WDIY also being our media sponsor. Thank you for that. Tabling organizations you can learn more from: Paza Tree of Life, The Running Kind, FEAT, F-E-A-T, Bethlehem Co-op Market, Green Pond Packaging, and then Lehigh Valley Girls Rock. And then this was what we talked about at the top of the show. There is this year, for the first time ever, a fun run. So at 12:30, a 3 to 5 mile run, depending on your interest. I think there's 2 different paths that they're going to take. It's going to start and finish at or near where the music is. So you can come down a little early, get in a little run, come back from that, get yourself a beer, enjoy the music. Again, weather is going to cooperate, fingers crossed. If I'm the earth, if I'm Mother Nature, if I'm the universe, and this is happening, I would want to support it. So I'm going to keep the trust and faith that the sun will prevail and no rain and beautiful weather. So let's try that. And again, even if it starts to threaten, we'll be able to tuck ourselves inside and be able to keep it, the location, timing, and date all is solid. So mark it down this Saturday, April the 19th, 1 p.m. And like I said, the schedule is 1:30 is when Drew in the Blue will go on, 2:30 Roberta Faceplant, 3:30 Shane Guarette, and all amazing music. So let's get to the final song, and we'll head out with this. So I will bid you adieu, and I hope to see you at the Jamboree this weekend. So here, enjoy Nervous Nikki and the Chill Pills with Red Hot Sun.
He took his last ride in the shade of the chamomile bed. The lights smell poison, death only appears to be an end. touch is gone. No more does that heart long